Year 3 of Guardian Games has begun, and surprise, surprise, at 5:30 the day of, it already seems like the Warlock win is in, and Bungie seems to be rigging it so that everyone wins at least once. Oh boy, we're off to a good start. But on that note, Bill Cosby just walked by. That's not good. But on the same note, what is Guardian Games? This is basically the 3 weeks where everyone becomes racist against the other classes. If you don't know what I mean, it's basically a bounty grind event, except the effort is dependent, and who wins is depending on who plays what class and how much effort that class puts in total. So basically, you spawn on whatever class you'll be supporting, whether it is one or all three, or just two because you hate the one. I'm looking at the Warlocks and Titans hating Hunters. But aside from that, you will head to the tower. Notice it's a little bit different, and the way this works is you will visit Ava Levante and you will acquire a class item that is special because you need, at least I do believe this is how it's been in the past, you need to wear these class items so you can generate laurels. And what laurels are, there's unique currency to Guardian Games that you earn from killing things with abilities out in the wild, whether it's Strikes, Gambit, Crucible. Those are all your options. So honestly, for anyone, I'd recommend any sort of ability regeneration, exotics, insurmountable skull fort for instant restore on melee kills, Doomfangs to extend your super, Hallow Fire to get abilities back faster, all sorts of things like that. All of these options are great, just because, you know, more ability kills and more other things. So I'd recommend those void builds with infinite grenades if they're still possible. But aside from that, what do you need to do? Once you collect laurels, you'll visit the tower and you'll see options like this, the cards. Now, they added a lot of variety considering the seasons and where they've gone, but these cards are essentially the bounties. Now, for an example, if you pick the Vanguard thing, it will take you to a Strike playlist, and you also have bounties you can pick that offer Bright Dust and Glimmer, but they're generic bounties that are just kind of relevant to the ability. Once you do that, you will of course earn medallions you'll earn medallions from just completing random activities. The difficulty of set activities improves the rarity of medallions, which, if I can put it plainly, a random activity like a basic Strike or a random game of Gambit or Crucible, that gives you bronze to silver, if I recall. And then things like a Nightfall Strike would give you gold, a Grandmaster might give you platinum, and other things like Iron Banner would give you gold if Iron Banner happens. Trials would probably give you a platinum on winning, and that sort of thing. But basically, the air quotes harder the activity, the more value the medal gets. Now, you can, of course, like it says here, earn medals by completing activities, you know, laurels by defeating your class abilities, like I just said, or defeating especially powerful combatants with your Guardian Games. That's right. Powerful combatants, I believe yellow bars and above will just drop laurels regardless, so you don't need abilities to get that. So, now they do also say, like I said, you need to have your Guardian Games class items equipped. If you don't have them equipped, you will not get them. But moving into the things, the class, it's like here, actually no, that's right. Gold and platinum are all from cards, that's right. Now they give you specific sort of objectives that are based on, it's like a bounty, but based on whatever you pick. So like here, I went Vanguard, and it gave me Get Void or Stasis Final Blows in Guardian Games and Vanguard playlists. Higher scores as Melee and Finisher Final Blows grant additional progress. Completing a Strike or Battlegrounds grant massively increased progress. So you can, it's honestly like, what's the word, deep sight weaponry. You can, you know, kill with it, do what it says, or complete activities in the proper playlist. And from there, you'll get a medallion, and once you get a medallion, you'll be able to bank it here at the wall, which shows basically who is currently winning at the time, and it also marks the 3 weeks which class won each day. So, as an example, during year 1, the first day went to Hunters, and then every other day went to Titans. On that note, moving into the rest of the thing, there are some upgrades you can get and various other cosmetics that are all dependent on triumphs. Like if you want the ghost shells, like personally I already own them because I can't buy them again, but there are triumphs related. Same thing with these various other ships. You need to earn various triumphs that are likely related to just effort and progress or various other things. Emblems, of course, you know, shaders. You need to complete triumphs related to the event. And of course, there are reward packages for various scoring, where basically, if the better you do on some of the special days, which they added a weird new thing, and that's unique days. So okay, let's see. Let's see. Does this still have the thing? It's hard to say. This is the recreational playlist, and they added new things, where now this is the training playlist. It's sort of like a pseudo Nightfall. Let's see. Training. It's hard to say just because it's not letting me in yet. But, you know, there are options for various playlists and difficulties. It's just hard to say. They made it weird. Like, there's training day, match made. Let's see. What's the difference with match made? Is it just there's only me? It's hard. I don't know. I think that means you only match with people of your class. That's how they had it last year. But basically, you can participate in these things and make effort, light torches. Basically, the more effort you put in, the more rewards you get, and eventually you can unlock the torches that you can light, which will give you rewards from here. Whether or not they contain unique and idealist rewards, it's probably like ascendant shards, ascendant alloys, materials, maybe an exotic engram or two, and various other things. But that is the gist of Guardian Games and how it functions nowadays, with new playlists that are only open from time to time. As I recall, the most of the week will be training, and then the weekend will be the competition, which we'll have to see how this actually goes functionally, just because, you know, it's day one, not everyone exactly knows how things are going, and not everything is available currently yet. But what is available is what a lot of people want to see, and that is cosmetics, which I will also cover in this video. Now, the events tab will show us things from all the distance. So rating back, the right up front is this year's set of armor, last year's, and the year before that, all the way back to year 3. Yes, year 3. But on the same note, we also have finishers, exotic ornaments, and several emotes, ghost shells, and various other cosmetics, all themed around Guardian Games and the idea of, you know, summer and spring. So there is lots of options here that you can look at, and of course they're all class specifics. I'll throw up flashes of the complete set of Titan and, or just the images of Titan and Warlock stuff if you want to see them, just because they exist. But continuing and making it simple, just so I don't have to waste so much time swapping between characters and cutting out videos, that's that. Now, into some finishers. We have a brand new one, which is a fancy flail spin with a glaive into the face of whatever you'd be finishing. It's not that bad of a finisher, although just because the seasonal finishers they've made have always been better than these ones, it's kind of hard to, you know, pick up. Then we also have Knockout Punch, which is supposed to be, I don't know, it's a 1, 2, 3 kind of knockout comic, you know, 1, 2, 3, and, you know, big old knockout. And the Shuffle and Scat, which is more boxing, followed by a Wild Haymaker, which once it actually reloads, because it loads in a bit quick for some reason, so a little bam. And then two things that are important. Oh my god, I can't believe this is something that I'm ashamed that I forgot to mention. Before I get more into cosmetics, there is an important thing regarding Heir Apparent. I don't know if there is a quest regarding it, or if it was, because the first year it was a specific amount of effort and you could earn Heir Apparent. But this year, if you want to get your hands on, when I can find it, the exotic chain gun named Heir Apparent, which gives you an overshield when fully charged up and has a 200 round mag capacity at like a 600 belt. It's a good gun. People scat on it all the time, but this is honestly a very good option for just clearing whatever in front of you. For Grandmasters, maybe not so much, but then that's what the Catalyst is for. So I don't know how this would go officially, just because I already have both. But the way last year worked, or the first year worked for unlocking Heir Apparent, was that by banking 30 or completing a bit of a list of triumphs, you would eventually get access to Heir Apparent through a triumph. And last year, you would randomly be awarded the Heir Apparent Catalyst when banking gold or platinum medallions, if I recall. I don't know specifically how that will work this season, just because of the fact that, you know, I don't have it, and I can't exactly explain it in a way that I would know aside from that. So, because I don't see it available in her vendor list. You might get it from doing one of these things too, because exotic rewards. Heir Apparent might drop from Ava herself. But, getting back on track, we have exotic ornaments for 2 weapons now. One Vex Mythoclast, which I kind of actually like. It's a cool color palette. It's just a shame that it has to have the Guardian Games logo randomly strewn about on it, and I do like that little glow. If it does change with whatever armor set or class, I will definitely approve of that idea. Yeah, honestly, if this just turned into a lot more red just because it was on my Titan, I would approve of that. And then we also have Triumphant for Heir Apparent, which is a Guardian game style, which it does make it bright. I do like it, although, you know, it's a gun that I like to keep black just because it looks pretty good on black. But then we have some more multiplayer emotes they introduced. We have a cheerleading emote. Oh my goodness. I wonder how long until somebody in my fire team wants to do this and I have to resist just because, you know, resistance. And then Reigning Champion, something we just saw in the Eververse video. It's currently available for Bright Dust right now, as a matter of fact. So if you want that emote, go ahead and pick it up. Then one from last year as well, Standing on Ceremony, which is basically the I won and let me act like a dickhead. Because if I recall, they just get a bunch of roses thrown on them and you have to wave and say hi. This was Hunter's all last year, even though it wasn't even a fair fight in the slightest. But moving on, Just Juggling, an emote you might have seen me use a lot just because, you know, it's just sitting there bopping an engram and just keeping yourself busy. This is one I use plenty a lot. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's equipped on my Titan right now. But moving forward as well, Represent. This is dependent on whatever class you are wearing. You pop down the logos of whatever class you have. It should stay just Titan Lion, but you know, because it's preview, it shows all three. And I'm pretty sure this is infinite regardless of, you know, anything. But of course it stops and you fold it up because, you know, it's one of those. We also have Torch Light, which is, you know, lighting a torch. But then I'm pretty sure it's just that. You light it, you stand there, and eventually it just goes away once you hit the button. And then we also have Participation Trophy, which is just people holding the... It's the fake trophy for two people for some reason. Now, getting into other things, new ghost shells. We have the sponsored shell, which seems to be the theme of this year. There's a lot, because of the return to the weapon foundries, there's a lot of various sponsorships, as well as, general. Why is Clovis Bray? I just realized that. Clovis Bray is dead. Save for the AI. It's funny seeing that. It's just funny. But we have various representation from the various foundries and World of Destiny. And this one, now I must test this. How well does it shader? Does it change? Oh, that gets bright. Ooh, that gets very bright. But it is restricted. It seems to only be... Well, that went back to normal. But it seems restrictive on how it actually shaders. But it does shader pretty well. Then we also have the Champion Shell, where our ghost gets turned into a little Guardian Games brass cup. And moving forward, we also have the Backstroke Shell, where our ghost is a swimmer. Or, wait. Yes, it is. It is wearing a... It's hard to tell just because it's, you know, not a human. But it actually is wearing a swim cap and I think a chin strap for some reason that doesn't even fit. You know. But then moving into the things from last year, we have the Refreshing Shell, which is our ghost as a little water bottle. We have the Plush Shell, which is our ghost as pretty much a volleyball, but also possibly just a seat cushion. Then we have the Half Volley Shell, which is also a tennis ball ghost, because, you know, it's a flying tennis ball. Now, into other things throughout the world, we have new sparrows in the form of the Lawnmower, which is supposed to be... It's hard to say what it is officially. It has a pretty cool... Actually, it's that new trail, or... God, words. Sparrow Trail that I thought was pretty cool. But it's weird how not unique there, because we have that, which is that, but then we also have this, which is pretty much the same thing, but with more neon. Bungie, you gotta work on uniqueness here. And we do have one more new sparrow that is a little bit different. The wedge, it basically looks like it could split anything in twain, and it's a little bit more glowy, so it's not terrible looking, but, you know, it's not always on time, so it's gonna be hard to get into. And we have sparrows from previous years. We have the Pace Setter, which is kind of a weird dragwing sparrow. Vive for Glory, which is another one of the seating lawn chair ones. And then we have Runner-Up, which is basically just a Guardian Games looking sparrow. I think this might have been from year 3, or the first year it ran. Same with Victory Lap. I think these were the original sparrows from the first year that this existed. So, a little less unique there. Then Hot Commodity, which is a new ship. This one is one that is currently actually available for Bright Dust right now, if I recall. So, if you want this one, go ahead and get it. Then we have the Front Runner as well, ship from last year. Just getting a quick look at it. As well as Victory's Herald, another ship from last year. And then the Underdog from year 1 of Guardian Games, as well as Team Spirit from the same year. Now, just to keep the video as short as possible, there was a lot more. That's a good majority of everything. If you want any of these emotes that are currently here and various other things, these are all the ones from last year right now. Now, if you want any of these, that is time limited, 3 weeks about. So if you want to get your hands on these, You must do it now before Guardian Games possibly gets canceled when everyone gets annoyed after Warlocks winning because it would look so freaking rigged. But on that same note, the Bright Dust will be rotating weekly stock, and it will include Guardian Games stuff if you wish to get your hands on those things. So with that, I would say check the Eververse store, but on week 3, if what you wanted hasn't shown up for Bright Dust, I'd recommend you just buy it straight up for Bright Dust if you can be able to afford it and have time for that. Now, in the end of week 3, when we actually finish, I don't know if they're keeping with the tradition, but there will be a statue over here, which hopefully gets a little bit of a rework, where it shows who officially wins by the end, if, people even care about this event anymore. But on that same note, my name is Matt Scorpion. This is what Guardian Games has been and what it will be this year, and I will see you in the next video.
Stop being concerned, no chances keep on passing us by. We're looking up.